You're listening to Real Talk, the Essence Flow Way, where we tell the truth about building businesses designed for your life, not the algorithm's demands. I'm Shay, mindful brand strategist and founder of Essence Flow, the sustainable growth framework for creators who need this to work, because going back isn't an option. Around here, we choose calm over chaos. We choose sustainability over speed. We choose truth over trends. This is where we build different, with intention, with strategy, and with the honesty you won't find anywhere else. Welcome to Season 2 of Real Talk, the Essence Flow Way. Now let's get into this week's episode. Welcome back to Real Talk, the Essence Flow Way. I'm Shay, and this week we need to talk about something that's going to make some of you uncomfortable. Last week we talked about how to find your real target audience, your people. I showed my journey from sustainable growth seekers to marginalized creators to finally discovering high capacity people. And I told you the key to finding your audience is getting clarity on yourself first. But here's what I didn't say. My mind wasn't the first thing to figure out I was high capacity. My body was. My body had been collecting data for years. Every time I overrode exhaustion, every time I pushed through resistance, every time I forced myself to keep going when I truly and indeedly needed to stop. My body was taking notes, filing information, building a case against myself. And when I finally couldn't ignore it anymore, my body didn't give me words. It gave me symptoms. So today, we're talking about what your body already knows, what it's been trying to tell you, and why you need to start listening before it forces you to do so. Here's what nobody tells you about being high capacity. Your body remembers everything. Every deadline you hit while running on 3 hours of sleep. Every project you finish while ignoring the migraine. Every launch you pushed through while your nervous system was screaming, practically begging for rest. Every time you told yourself, I'll rest after this, and then didn't. Your body files that information away. It doesn't forget. It doesn't let it go. It keeps the score. And here's the part that's truly hard to accept. Your body is not betraying you when it shuts down. It's protecting you. Because when you're high capacity, you can override your body's signals longer than most people. You can push through exhaustion more than most people. You can force yourself to keep going when someone else would have stopped months ago. That's what makes you high capacity. But that's also what makes you dangerous to yourself. Because your capacity becomes permission to exploit yourself. In your body has been watching, waiting, collecting evidence that the pace you're running in is unsustainable. And eventually, it responds. Not with a conversation, with a shutdown. Now let me tell you what this looked like for me. For years, I measured my worth by my output. I could conceptualize frameworks while executing content. I could build infrastructure while teaching others. I could maintain high productivity, even when I was exhausted. And I thought that was just who I was. A hard worker, disciplined, responsible. I didn't see it as a problem. Shoot, I saw it as my strength. Until my body disagreed. It started small. Chronic exhaustion that rest didn't fix. I'd sleep 8 hours and wake up feeling like I didn't get a wink of sleep at all. I told myself I just needed better sleep. Maybe some vitamins. Maybe more coffee? Then came the nausea. I sit down to work and something that I was excited about, something that I really wanted to do, and I would just, my stomach would turn in knots. Like I didn't want to do this. I'd open my laptop and feel physically sick, like I just cannot do this today. I thought maybe I was getting a virus and maybe I needed to go see a doctor because this was not normal. Especially for me, as someone who is hardworking, that gets stuff done and is doing this on a regular, like this was not normal. But the real breaking point was creative resistance. For the first time ever, I couldn't force myself to work, to create, to do anything. I couldn't push through it. I couldn't just push through it and make it happen. My brain would sit there blank. I was frozen. I couldn't type. My voice couldn't record. I couldn't think. Nothing was happening. And I panicked. I completely panicked because if I couldn't produce, who was I? It's like me transitioning from being a worker who knows work all of my life. And then I became a stay-at-home mom. And I panicked because I was no longer working. I wasn't productive. I wasn't doing anything. So it is a freaky situation. But that is another story for another day. But that's an example of someone who's being productive to being productive in a different way. And I thought I was broken. I truly thought there was something wrong with me. But here's the truth that I didn't see at the time. Nothing was broken. My body was finally protecting me from myself. My nervous system had been overruled for years. I'd ignored every signal it sent. Every time it said slow down, I pushed harder. Every time it said this space is unstable, I said I'll rest when I hit the goal. So my body stopped asking for permission. It just shut me down. And that shutdown, that wasn't failure. That was my body's last line of defense against self-abandonment. So here's what I've learned. If you're high capacity, your body is trying to tell you something right now. And you're probably ignoring it, just like I did. So let me translate what your body is actually saying, because these aren't random symptoms. They're messages. Signal 1, chronic exhaustion that rest doesn't fix. What it feels like. You sleep 8 hours and wake up tired. You take a day off and still feel depleted. You rest and it doesn't restore you. What your body is actually saying? The depletion is deeper than one night's sleep can fix. This pace has been unsustainable for a long time. Rest is not optional anymore. It's required. It's necessary. And what you're probably telling yourself? I just need better sleep habits. Maybe I'm not working out enough. Maybe I just need more supplements. Here's the truth. Your nervous system is exhausted from chronic activation. You've been running in fight or flight mode for so long that your body can't down-regulate anymore. Rest isn't going to fix it because the problem isn't lack of rest. It's too many months or years of overriding rest. Signal 2. Physical symptoms when you try to work. What it feels like. Nausea when you sit down to create. Headaches when you open your laptop. Stomach pain when you think about your to-do list. Anxiety attacks before launches. What your body is actually saying. This work has become associated with self-abandonment. I'm protecting you by making it physically uncomfortable to continue. And what you're probably telling yourself, I must be getting sick. Maybe it's stress. Maybe I just need to push through a little more. But here's the truth. Your body has learned that this pace requires you to override your needs. So it's creating physical barriers to prevent you from continuing. This is not weakness. This is your nervous system doing its job. Signal 3. Creative resistance where there used to be flow. What it feels like. You sit down to create, nothing comes. Your brain feels blank, it's empty. Your hands won't type. The ideas that used to flow to you now feel forced. What your body is actually saying is you've been creating from depletion far too long. I'm cutting off. I am cutting off your access to your creative capacity because you're using it to exploit yourself. And what you're probably telling yourself, I've lost my creativity. Maybe I'm not good at this anymore. Maybe I'm just lazy now. But here's the truth. Creative resistance is not laziness. It's your body protecting your creative capacity from being weaponized against you. You haven't lost your creativity. You've lost access to it because your nervous system knows you'll use it to push yourself past sustainable limits. Signal 4. Inability to rest without guilt. This one hits hard. This hit home for me. What it feels like. You take a day off and spend the whole time thinking about what you should be doing. You rest and feel worse, not better. You can't fully relax because there's always something else you could be working on. This is me 100%. What your body is actually saying. You've been running on productivity as worth for so long that rest feels like failure. Your nervous system is stuck in activation mode and doesn't remember how to downregulate. And what you're and myself are telling ourselves, I'm not disciplined enough to rest properly. Other people can rest. Why can't I? And here's the truth. Your nervous system has been trained to equate rest with danger. When you're high capacity and you've built your identity around output, rest feels like losing value. Your body isn't broken. It's been conditioned by years of measuring your worth through productivity. And as I sit here and speak to this mic for this episode, so many examples flood through my mind. Literally, as a personal trainer, my output was how I gained clients and how well I trained them to get results. That was my output. That was everything. That's how I became the best that I could be as a trainer in a gym. I measured my worth by how many clients I could train, how many clients I can sign up for personal training, how many people I could help solve their problem with the strategy that I had. I made it a year and my body shut down. And that's when I found out I was pregnant with my little one. But still, we don't realize just how much we measure our worth by what we do, by how productive we are, by how much work we're doing to reach the goal. And when we don't hit the goal, oh, it's failure. We didn't work hard enough. We didn't do enough. Oh man. The thoughts are endless. But our body tells us first. And for me, mine was a huge anxiety attack. And when that started happening, I started to listen. I had to walk away. And sometimes we have to walk away to find ourselves again in a way that is sustainable, that's healthy, and that truly allows for us to heal from this broken, unsustainable practice we've taught ourselves all our lives. Now let's get into why this actually matters. So you're probably asking, why does this matter? Why am I spending an entire episode on what your body is trying to tell you? Because here's the truth. You can ignore your body's signals for a long time, especially if you're high capacity. You can push through exhaustion. You can override resistance. You can force yourself to keep going when your body is begging you to stop. But eventually, and when I mean eventually, it'll happen. It will. Your body will make the decision for you. I've watched this happen so many times to high capacity people, especially myself. We ignore the chronic exhaustion until we get sick. We override the creative resistance until we burn out completely. We push through the physical symptoms until our body shuts them down so hard we can't work for months. And then we think we failed. We think something is wrong with us. We think we're not disciplined enough, not strong enough, not capable enough, but it's not true. Our body did what it had to do to protect us from ourselves. So here's what I need you to understand. Listening to your body is not weakness. It's strategy. When your body says, this place is unsustainable, it's giving you information. When it creates physical barriers to continuing, it's protecting your long-term capacity. When it shuts you down, it's preventing permanent damage. You can either listen to those signals now, when you still have some control over the pace, or you can wait until your body forces you to stop like it did me. And trust me, it's a lot harder to rebuild after a complete shutdown than it is to adjust your pace before you get there. So what changes when you start listening to your body instead of overriding it? Well, first, You stop seeing symptoms as obstacles and start seeing them as information. Chronic exhaustion isn't something to push through. It's data that your pace is unsustainable. Creative resistance isn't laziness. It's your body protecting your creative capacity from exploitation. When you shift from "my body is portraying me" to "my body is giving me information," everything changes, because now you're working with your nervous system instead of against it. Second, you start making different decisions. You stop saying yes to things your body is already telling you will deplete you. You stop forcing yourself to show up in ways that create physical symptoms. You stop overriding the signals because you understand that they're there protecting you. Protecting you from you. And third, you build differently. You create systems that honor your body's signals instead of requiring you to override them. You design your work around sustainable capacity instead of maximum output. You build at a pace your nervous system can sustain for years, not just months. This is what Essent Flow is about. It's not just business strategy. It's capacity stewardship. It's learning to build in a way that doesn't require you to abandon yourself. But here's what I know now. Your capacity is not a resource to be exploited. It's a gift to be stewarded. And your body? Your body is trying to help you do that. It's been trying to tell you for far too long. The real question is, are you ready to listen? So here's where we are. You know why I built Essent Flow. You know how to find your real target audience through self-clarity. And now you know what your body has been trying to tell you. But here's what we need to talk about next. And this is going to challenge everything you've been taught about business building. We've been taught that fast growth is good growth. That scaling quickly is the goal. That if you're not moving fast, you're falling behind. But what if that entire framework is what's breaking high capacity people? Next week, we're talking about why platform first strategies are designed to exploit your capacity, and what people first design looks like instead. Because once you understand what your body is telling you, you need to build systems that honor those signals instead of override them. And that requires a different kind of building. It requires you building differently than everyone else by what it is that they're teaching you to build. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being willing to hear what your body has been trying to tell you. If you're recognizing yourself in these signals, if your body has been speaking and you've been ignoring it, trust me, you're not alone. And you're not broken. Your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, protecting you from unsustainable pace. The real question is, are you ready and willing to listen? Next week, we're exposing the systems that created this problem in the first place. And it's going to shift how you see everything. Until then, listen to your body, trust your nervous system, and remember, rest is not optional. It's infrastructure. This is Real Talk, the Essent Flow way. And I'm Shay. I'll see you in the next episode.